Hi everyone, my name is Sumedh Sachdev. I'm from Lucria Consult, one of the tax and IP directors, and we're partners with Payoneer, and we've been working alongside for the last few years. I'm really glad that Payoneer allowed us and partnered with us for this huge event beyond 2021. Really excited to see all of you here. I will be briefly talking about VAT taxation, GST for e-commerce sellers in the global context. And I'll try and cover as many geographies as I can in the next 10 to 15 minutes. And I would really love if all of you come talk to us after this event at our booth. I'd love to answer your questions. I'm going to share my screen. Right, so you should be able to use this presentation as a guidebook going forward if you're a new seller or if you want to start selling on an online marketplace. This guidebook should be able to help you with the very basic rules, unwritten rules per se, and it should also be able to tell you what things to be careful about, what things to take care of when you're setting up a new business. So very briefly about Lucria Consult, we are a British tax consulting. We have our teams based out of India, Germany, and US as well. I sit out of the India office in Delhi. We are a team of qualified chartered accountants, lawyers, IP consultants. We are authorized by the UK government, by the European government, and we work across multiple borders. The territories that we cover currently are UK, European Union, USA, Canada, Australia, Asia, and Middle East. Great. So the current screen now talks about the various tax rates across all major marketplaces, across all major geographies. So you would see a common theme, the tax rate usually is around the 20% rate. So for example, in UK, it's 20, Czech Republic is 21, Canada is between 5 and 15%, Poland is 23%, so on and so forth. We also have a reduced tax slab for certain products such as books, tea, medical equipment, food articles. Turnaround time to register and get your VAT processed ranges between 1 week to about 4 to 5 weeks, depends on each country and depends on the season as well. During the busy season, during this time currently, timelines are slightly stretched out. Once you're VAT registered, you must also file your VAT returns. All the countries have a different filing frequency. Some countries offer only quarterly returns. Other countries might offer annual or a monthly filing frequency as well. I'd now like to just discuss the do's and don'ts for taxation, VAT or GST in a global, in a EU specific context. So we all know VAT registration in European Union is mandatory, specifically after the 1st of July 2021. Once you're VAT registered, VAT return submissions are strongly recommended. If we don't follow the compliances, we have seen the government taking action and suspending various seller accounts on multiple marketplaces. VAT refunds can be claimed for all import VAT that you pay to the customs. The marketplace will provide all the sellers with their IOSS number, which is usually required for transactions below the value of 150 euros. Import VAT and duty payment can also be deferred via the post VAT accounting scheme. This is the most recent change. A lot of shipping companies are now able to support sellers with this particular scheme, and I would encourage all of you to come discuss with us and with your shipping companies on how to take benefit of this particular VAT accounting scheme. I've just put down the same data in a tabular format for all of us to quickly understand. So VAT numbers on orders below 135 GBP or 150 euros. If you want the input, you must be registered. For orders above 150 euros or 135 GBP, VAT number is mandatory. VAT returns below 135 euro, 150 euro, you would require them if you want to take a refund. And above this threshold, the returns are mandatory. Import VAT and duty below the threshold, the marketplace will provide you an IOSS number. Above the threshold, you can defer the VAT via the post-VAT accounting scheme. Below the VAT on sales on below the threshold, the marketplace will collect and pay to your tax office. Above the threshold, again, the marketplace will collect and pay to the tax office. VAT refunds, in both the cases, you will be able to claim the refunds if you file the VAT returns. In case some of the sellers, if you don't register for VAT, you will not be eligible for any refunds, unfortunately. In some extreme cases, we have seen sellers paying twice the amount of VAT, once at the time of customs, and then second, when the marketplace deducts your VAT on an ongoing basis. So some sellers might be paying 40% VAT. It can be avoided if you register for VAT. I'd now like to talk about the VAT withholding and the refunds. This is a very recent change, the most recent change in the European Union and UK as well. Almost all marketplaces are now withholding taxes, VAT, and paying to the tax office directly. So sellers don't have the burden of paying majority of the taxes now. All non-UK and European Union companies will suffer VAT deduction at source by Amazon and other marketplaces also. What this implies is every 14 days or 15 days when you get paid by the marketplace will deduct majority of your VAT liability with the intention of paying it to the government. So at the end of the quarter or end of the month, when you're filing your VAT returns, you would not have to worry about paying the tax. However, this does not mean that you don't file your VAT returns. VAT returns still have to be filed. It's just that the tax payment does not need to be made anymore. Amazon, for example, it deducts approximately 85 to 95% of VAT liability. So hence leaving a very small percentage of tax that has to be paid. The reason why Amazon is not able to deduct all the VAT is because certain transactions, for example, any transaction greater than 150 euros or 135 GBP does not fall under this particular system. Any B2B transaction, the tax will not be deducted at source. The seller will have to pay the VAT directly. VAT return submission is the only solution to recover VAT overpayment or import VAT. Like I just mentioned, if any of one of you is paying VAT twice, or if any one of you are paying VAT at the customs, filing a return can act as a reconciliation measure and ensure that you don't overpay any tax. Any overpayment can be recovered as a refund. VAT refunds can be accepted. VAT refunds cannot be accepted directly in an Indian bank account. You would need to have a GBP or a EUR bank account for the local government to pay the refunds into. And the refunds can take anywhere between 1 week to 4 weeks, depending on how busy the government is. Usually it's an automated process. In some cases, your tax advisor might be required to get involved. IOSS and OSS. So the thresholds that we talked about, the 150 euro and the 135 GBP threshold, they are directly related with the IOSS and the OSS system that was introduced on 1st of July of this year. Anything above the threshold will fall under the OSS system. Anything below the threshold, below 150 euros, will fall in the IOSS system. IOSS stands for Import One Stop Shop. OSS just stands for One Stop Shop. All marketplaces are currently handing out their IOSS numbers for all transactions below the threshold. For over the threshold transactions, IOSS does not apply, only OSS applies. Right, so we've sort of completed very briefly the VAT system in European Union and UK. I would now like to move out of Europe and just very briefly and quickly talk about the VAT in US, UAE, Australia, and Canada. In theory, all these geographies pretty much have a similar kind of tax system. So VAT, GST, or sales tax applies basically in all countries where an online marketplace operates. Registration is mandatory by law, and it has been mandatory for quite some years, but I understand, I can relate with some sellers telling that, oh, back in 2016 it wasn't. Well, it was mandatory, it was written in the law, but it's just that it was not being executed. The online marketplaces were not taking strict action. um, so registration is mandatory. In case of US, which has a special case, some you would only require to be registered for sales tax in only a few states where a certain law has been passed. In most of the other states, sales tax might not be required. Again, payment of the taxes is done directly by the marketplace in US, but you would still require to file your sales tax returns every month. Registration exemption threshold available only for local businesses. So we're all aware of the £85,000 VAT registration threshold in UK, for example, and 30,000 Canadian dollar threshold in Canada. And a lot of us might already been taking benefit of these thresholds. But what we haven't checked is that these thresholds are only available for sellers who are based locally in their country. So if your business is registered in Canada, only then can it take benefit of the 30,000 Canadian dollar threshold. In case of UK, if you're a UK company, only then the 85K threshold applies. Timelines range between 1 week to 6 weeks for all these countries, be it US, UAE, Australia, Canada, KSA, Singapore. Timelines change with every season. In the month of December, January, since it's Christmas holidays, it might take longer, but during the rest of the year, it might get done easier, slightly quickly. Regular return filings to follow once registered. I would definitely want to stress on this point. In case you're missing out on your VAT returns, you stand a risk of your seller account being suspended. Certain tax offices have been, we've noticed them of being very, very strict in getting accounts suspended on Amazon, eBay, and other marketplaces. So it's of utmost importance that you file your tax returns regularly. Great. So that was very quickly about VAT in a global scenario. We would love to hear from you at our booth and after this event as well. Very briefly, the kind of services that Lucria Consult offers: we are tax advisors. So VAT, GST registration, return filing is our USP. We can also help you in registering your trademarks across the globe in 141 countries, US, UK, Europe, etc. We can also help you in product specific compliances, be it FDA license or EORI or importer on record or custom clearance bonds. We can help you in setting up your entity outside of India, in US, in UK, or rest of the world. And we can also help you in logistics in terms of getting your goods relabeled in US and UK, should there be a need. We are very proud of the fact that we work very intimately with our clients, and we've had a very good relation with all our partners, including Payoneer and Amazon, and we would be able to offer you a single point of contact, a dedicated relations manager who will take care of all your requirements. And we offer bespoke and non-standardized consulting service. So all of you sellers who have a very difficult case, or you think that you have any peculiar requirements, we would love to hear from you. Lucria Consult is also affiliated with almost all the marketplaces that are prevalent in the Indian e-commerce and export ecosystem. We understand how these marketplaces work. We understand how taxation works in these target countries, and we're able to put two and two together and build you the most tax efficient structure. These are my contact details. Should any of you want to contact me, that's my Indian number and my UK number as well. I'm currently based out of New Delhi, and I would love to hear from you. Thanks, everyone. Looking forward to meeting all of you.